no retirement? What are you kidding me? I love retirement. But back in 2013, my wife and I decided that we would obey the voice of God and become missionaries. Now stay tuned for a lot of pictures. I'm going to have a lot of them coming through as I do a voiceover on this. But in this introduction, I wanted to be clear why we went ahead when we were ready to really start our retirement to postpone it, to go ahead and to serve God and to go to Peru as missionaries. Now, in 2013, the call was confirmed in my life. We went ahead and we said yes to it. And just before we left, we were going around and we were saying goodbye to people. And a lot of people were like, kind of shaking their heads. But, they were saying, go for it, you're going to do great. And meanwhile, they were thinking like, what are you doing at your age doing this? But this one pastor that I went to go ahead and to see and say goodbye to just said, what, are you kidding me? At your age, you guys should be retiring. You guys should be just enjoying, your life. And I looked at him, but I think he caught himself and he says, but no, he says, I know that if you know that you're supposed to go, then it's going to be a good thing. And so he gave us his blessing. But it was strange, the number of people that looked at us like we had two heads. And then also, every time we would come back and we would speak at a church or whatever, the thing of retirement would always come up. This couple should be at a cafe enjoying the sunshine and just sipping a cappuccino together and everything. And meanwhile, we're in the mountains of Peru dealing with, a new church and everything else. It was so much fun and it was so fulfilling that, we knew that time at the cafe was going to be coming, but it just wasn't then. I noticed right away that the campesinos, and I called them the true Peruvians because they were the descendants of the Incas, they wore their traditional attire. And I purchased this picture because it depicts what life was like in the town that we were in. And it was very simple. It was very slow-paced. There was not the rat race that we have here in the U.S. It was wonderful. And then also, too, their textiles are absolutely beautiful. One of the things that I noticed is that they did not retire there, that there was very little retirement. Only when you got to a certain age and your family could take you in did you go ahead and actually stop working. But everybody pitched in any way that they could. I remember Christmas time seeing a man out in the backyard of our place that we were staying at, and he was plowing the fields on Christmas morning to go ahead and prepare the corn harvest. And then our local area that we went down and went shopping in, this picture here is just a portion of what we had available to us in the way of goods and of services. The food was so plentiful and fresh. It was wonderful. Now, this picture I have is really a beautiful example of just how vibrant and how happy people really were. And it was really a wonderful thing to see the contentment, but also the work ethic that they had. I noticed that people ran to you whenever you called them, or you're in a restaurant and you called over for somebody to help you. They came a-running. Our downtown plaza was beautiful. This is a painting that I also purchased that just was a memory of just how beautiful it was to be in these mountains and to be in this culture. And then the wildlife was just incredible. And they also had a great sense of humor, the Peruvians. And so, not being able to retire was a blessing and not a punishment. Look back on it with fondness. So I hope that this was enjoyable for you, but also to give you some food to thought that, life isn't over. You come to this point of retirement and you decide, what is it I'm going to do? Am I going to go ahead and do the traditional, or am I going to do an adventurous retirement like we did? But now we are steadfast and steady in our church, our local church. We do a lot with them. We have busy, busy weeks and everything else. But you know what? It's very, very fulfilling, and it helps ahead and just keep us trucking, keep us moving ahead. So with that, I hope you have a great day. I hope to see you in the next video. My wife's doing something special for you all, so we'll see you then. Ciao.